Physical media 2025. How was it? These two shelves here, I think they're hollering that it was pretty freaking solid. We had our cake, and we got to eat it too, all year long. These two shelves here represent everything that I added to my collection that were new releases in 2025. And I still feel like I missed so many great things, right? But with everything that I have here, there are 15 of them that just stand out above the rest. So why don't y'all hang around until after this intro, and we're going to get into my top 15 physical media releases of 2025. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff, and welcome back to my channel, JOHNDOEJUGGALO. If this is your first time here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Like my daughter says, it's free, and you can always change your mind later. If this is not your first time here, welcome back. This is where you're going to find me discussing my favorite things about movies and music, video games, and the physical medias that surround all of those types of mediums. So please sit back and relax and check out this next video. Alright, now if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you know that I have a hard time actually ranking things and putting them in a particular order from worst to best. So the way that I'm going to do my list this year is I'm going to do my favorite 15, and we're just going to show them off in order of release date. And we're going to start right off the rip with one of my favorite things that I like to collect. And it's not a movie. It is a TV show. Now, this box set does include a movie. And that is Twin Peaks from Z to A. This came out right near the beginning of the year in 2025. And it gave us the entire series and the movie. And it also gave us the pilot and a special episode on a 4K disc. Now, I've not watched this entire series yet, but we are in the middle of watching this right now, and there's not a more perfect way to watch this series. This is the set to have, and that's why it starts off my top 15 of 2025. Now, the next one that came out was one that I was pretty freaking excited for. As soon as they announced it, I knew I had to have it. And I wasn't sure if I was going to get the Steelbook, mainly because I didn't think I was going to be able to find it. And I was able to obtain this one through a member giveaway on my buddy's channel over at Let's Talk Entertainment Media. And that is the Steelbook for Constantine. This is such a beautiful Steelbook. Beautiful. It's embossed. It has beautiful artwork on it. Just an amazing release. And above and beyond everything that I'm going to show off today, the discs inside of these are just amazing. I say, if you can find this movie on 4K, it is a must-have. They did release it in a standard edition, so if Steelbook isn't your thing, I'd say grab it. And next up is yet another Steelbook. Now, I'm not a very big Steelbook collector. I do have some, and quite a couple few on this list coming up. We do have some Steelbooks because, well, they're pretty premium, and they usually put pretty nice discs inside of those Steelbooks. So next up, we have released Panic Room. This has always been one of my favorite films. I've always really enjoyed it. I've always had so much fun with it. And until this release, in the United States, this was stuck on DVD format. So we got an upgrade to Blu-ray and 4K all at the same time. Just another great feather to put into the cap of 2025. All right, and the fourth big major release, in my opinion, in 2025 was one of my favorite shark films. And this one comes from the late 90s, and that is Arrow Video's Deep Blue Sea. Wow, they treated this film maybe better than it even deserved. Or that's maybe what some people would say. I freaking love this film. I was super happy that it got this nice, big, chunky boy box set. This film deserved it. And I'm glad that Arrow Video graced us with such a beautiful disc inside this amazing package. This is still readily available. There is currently a Barnes & Noble 50% off Arrow sale going on, and you can grab it for that sale price. And I suggest that you do. All right, so capping off the first third of our list here is one of my favorite comedies and also one of my favorite sequels. And 88 Films graced us with a chunky box set of American Pie 2. Now, I am going to give an honorable mention for the standard 88 Films release of American Pie 1, because I missed out on the chunky edition of American Pie 1, and they reissued it in a standard slip. So that way it at least can still go with my American Pie 2, and I have both films. This 4K restoration looked amazing. It sounded really good, and I am so happy to have one of my favorite sequels of all time in this really nice chunky boy box set. And there's no reason why we still can't enjoy our comedies in 2026. So if you can find this, or they make a standard and you can grab it, I say this is a disc that you should add to your 4K collection. And the next one that come out is one of my favorite films, and I've never once tried to apologize for it. There's so many people on the internet now that try to apologize for enjoying this film. And that is Jason Goes to Hell. This has always been one of my favorite Friday the 13th series films. I watched it when I was real young, and it always just kind of held this spot, this high tier in my favorites of the horror genre. And yeah, Jason's not in this film very much, but it's a Friday the 13th film. It just has that feeling the whole time. And Arrow Video did amazing work on this disc for us. If you are a fan of this film and you don't have it yet, 50% off sale, grab it right now. Now, the next release actually came out on the same day. And this is number 7, and not for any particular reason other than that's where it came out in terms of release day. And I am super not going to ask for forgiveness for this one, but I'm saying Jason X. This looked awesome. Now, I only watched the Scream Factory Blu-ray like one time before because I don't actually have that set. My son does, and I watched his Blu-ray. It looked good. I still think this looked better, obviously. It's a 4K disc. And I have always really enjoyed Jason X. Is it great? Well, in some aspects, yes. But is it like an amazing film and like a film historic type of thing? No. But man, this is a fun one. Number 7. Jason 10. So going into our next one, number 8. Well, it's pretty much just one of my favorite sequels as well. I got a lot of my favorite sequels this year finally released in a better format. And we're talking Sleepaway Camp 2. Scream Factory finally came correct and gave us Sleepaway Camp 2 on 4K. Now, this doesn't have the Blu-ray disc in it. So if you want Blu-ray, you still have to pay that exuberant price. Or you can get the Sandpiper Pictures Blu-ray and bundle them together if you still care about having the both formats. But you probably already guessed that my next release would be Sleepaway Camp 3. So this is number 8 and number 9. Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3. I was not really into boutiques when these came out on Blu-ray, and so I never got the chance to enjoy these films on Blu-ray. Very happy to have them both on 4K Blu-ray, and they did amazing on these discs, you guys. They did amazing. We got amazing restorations. They look good, they sound good, and they have so many special features. It's got every special feature that you could possibly ask for these two films. All right, so number 10. We've made it over the halfway point of the year by the time this one came out. So, we're probably sitting somewhere around August, I believe, for this release. And that is one of my favorite films of all time. This movie came out when I was in high school, and it is my Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003, starring Jessica Biel. And this film, it holds up so good. In Arrow Video, they treated us so well. We get our alternate cover art with our slipcover. You know, they treated this one so well. The disc just looked so beautiful when they're down in like the room where the dude's hanging there near the end, and it's all dark and everything, and you can see so much detail in the dark scenes that you never got to see before. The sweat dripping off of his face, and this just looks so beautiful. And number 11. Well, it came out the same day. And we're going to give it to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning. I actually wasn't as excited about this coming out as I was the 2003 remake, except for the fact that I only had this on DVD, and I had the 2003 remake on, well, every format pretty much. But my DVD of this was one of the infamous Warner Rotters. So I had a dead disc on the wall for a film that I actually quite enjoy. And this 4K definitely solidified the fact that this is a really good companion piece with the remake. So if you like either one of these films, you can rest assured that in 2025, Arrow Video treated them very well. And so, speaking of films that you just didn't think you were going to get, wow, did Sony surprise us yet again in 2025? And they gave us Night of the Living Dead 90 in a beautiful 4K steelbook with a beautiful disc, and it also has a new director's cut that we've never got to see before this release. And it was really neat to get to see the beginning of the film in Tom Savini's vision of black and white. Does it make a difference much in the film? I'm going to leave that up for you to say. But in this set is the only way to get that new Savini cut. And it's worth having. And it's very, very nice that they've given it to us to own physically in our hands in such a beautiful, beautiful steelbook. I adored this release, and so did so many others. This was a very hard release to find for a while, and it was going for very unfair prices. Though from my understanding, it is currently available again. So I would say most definitely try to add that one to your collection. Now, I know I've shared a couple back-to-back numbers with sequels, and, you know, could have maybe crunched the top 15 down to a top 10 if I would have been like, oh, these two were released on the same day, they're a set. But that's not how I roll. They were individuals. This, though, was many, many films all in one. And I am so glad that this franchise finally got the respect that it deserves. And I'm not going to show off what everybody else has shown off on YouTube. I'm not that guy. I'm not the one to get the same stuff as everybody else. I'm actually the one that's happier with the more affordable, space constraint version. And I've probably already given it away, but we got the Nightmare on Elm Street series, the full set, all 7 films. All 7 films look amazingly beautiful on 4K. Now, I watched the 4K of the first film the previous year when it came out as a solo release, and I watched it again. And then I watched 2 and 3 and 4 and so on, right? There isn't a bad disc in here, and they even gave us new uncut versions. It's very nice. Getting an uncut version of Part 5 is it's unbelievable. And when I say that they gave us a really nice release, you know, like I said earlier in the video, it's always to me about the discs that are inside the case. And I know that everybody was super excited and went for the steelbook set. I'm not a steelbook guy unless that's really the only version I can get. And I really, really, really enjoyed this red case. I thought it was so cool. And yes, it's pretty tight in here, but no disc is stacked. There's no stacked discs. They all have their own spot. So, very nice and solid. It's, like I said, Yeah, I know it's not a steelbook set, but it's every freaking movie. And I can sit down and have a marathon of one of my favorite horror franchises anytime I want now. And finally, the best and probably the most respectful release they've ever had. I say, go grab this. Who cares if you don't have the steelbook? It's already gone. It's already gone for $400, $500, $600. This is going on sale all the time for right around $80 to $95. And on a regular, it runs about $105 to $110. Just grab this. You're getting all of the same discs. And it takes up a whole lot less space on the shelf. You know, I love the franchise, but I love being able to save space to add other franchises to the wall. And we still get all the goodies here. So I say, grab it up. So number 14. Yeah, we're getting really close to the end here, right? Number 14 was another one that I had on a Blu-ray disc that is actually considered to be infamous for disc rot, and just so happened that I had disc rot on mine. But I've been waiting for the film to get a 4K upgrade anyways, and yes, it is another steelbook. And that is The Devil's Rejects. Wow. Lionsgate, they knocked it out of the park a lot this year. And they put a lot of their really big titles on the Lionsgate Limited website, which I've never ordered from, and I might not. Because as long as they do that, maybe they'll release a standard version still for Amazon, Walmart, the likes. This was actually available on Amazon. Super affordable at like $32. And it is a beautiful steelbook. It is so nice. And the disc is amazing. This film has never looked this good. I really hope that this is the start of us getting more Rob Zombie films on 4K, because I think as I sit here, there is this one and 3 from Hell. But there are a few of his other movies that would do very good on 4K. I mean, I take House of 1,000 Corpses. I know that it's probably not needed, but something to match up with this and 3 from Hell to sit on my 4K shelf would be very nice. So I know I said the top 15, but of course I'm going to have some quick honorable mentions. I'm not going to talk too quick on them. Just want to kind of show them off real quick. You know, 2025 was a great year. So first off, at the beginning of the year, these two came out along with another one that I did not get. And we got more Quentin Tarantino, and we got the Kill Bill, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I'm considering this one because to me, it's one film. It's one big, long movie. And even they finally decided to say that as well, because now we got the whole bloody affair. So it does exist as one single film now. So we'll roll right over to that. This is going to be a boutique label that I don't get to mess with too often. I was very happy that this came out this year through Warner Archive. And it is one of my favorite films. It's getting due time for me to watch it. I usually like to watch it between Christmas and Valentine's Day, somewhere right in the middle in the winter, maybe when there's some snow on the ground. And that is Just Friends. This was stuck on DVD until this release in 2025. I know there's import versions, whatever, but this was the first time in the US that this wonderful rom-com was finally released on Blu-ray. I went and seen this in the theater and loved it. So that's an honorable mention. We're going to roll right into yet another comedy, because I love comedies and they just don't seem to get enough love. But a company that gave a lot of love to comedy this year was Kino Lorber. And they did a whole lot of different 90s like SNL films, and I missed a lot of them. But one that I wasn't wanting to miss out on was Coneheads. I was able to grab this about a week or so before it came out. It was in store when I went in store to Orbit DVD, and I'm thinking, I can have Coneheads early. I can have it before pretty much anybody else, and I can watch it. I can go home and watch it tonight. Like, it's one of my favorites. And wow, Kino Lorber, not only did they do good on Coneheads, they did good on bringing us a lot of classic SNL 90s comedies. So this, along with any of the Sandler films, Happy Gilmore, any of that, I say, if you see them, you want them, grab them up. They're good discs. Another one that really surprised me, I had never seen this film before, and I grabbed it because my buddy Chase over at AVA Pop Culture talked this one up and was a little disappointed that it didn't get a bigger, better, fatter, chunkier edition. And I'm going to have to agree with him after watching the film. This kind of deserved that thick, chunky box. So it makes my honorable mentions because the disc was amazing, and I may have fallen in love with the film. It was so fun. But it is Cobra. Crime is a disease, and he is the cure. What a fun film. Guys, grab this up. Arrow 50% off sale happens twice a year. Get Cobra. It's a good one. Now this next one, it has to make my honorable mention because I just haven't got the chance to watch it yet. I bought it around the time that it came out. Like, I had it pre-ordered. It came, I think, a couple days after release because things just don't ship and arrive on time too often anymore. And 2025 was a big proof of that. I don't know how much I actually got things on time when they were pre-ordered, and to be shipped. And I just haven't got a chance to watch this one yet, but I know I love this film, and I've heard nothing but good things about this disc, and I was just happy that it got an amazing chunky box edition, and that is The Mask. Please, go support this film. I want to see more crazy Jim Carrey 90s films from Arrow Video on chunky boxes. And I'm pretty sure this is going to sell well. So maybe we can get a Dumb and Dumber like this. That would be cool. Or, actually, I know they don't really mess with 20th Century Fox, but how about a Me, Myself, and Irene in a big chunky box set like this? That would be fun. Alright, so I got one more honorable mention. And it's my last one. And I watched this the other night. And I'm only doing an honorable mention because I know it's going to make some people mad that it's even in my video. And that is the Garbage Pail Kids movie. This was a beautiful, beautiful disc. And you just know, Vinegar Syndrome, they always give you top-notch disc. They give you top-notch packaging, especially when it's one of their Vinegar Syndrome Ultra lines. So I would take this all out, but it's in a plastic case, and I just, if you know what a Vinegar Syndrome is, you already know you're getting good product. But if you don't, look this up. Look up an unboxing. I'm sure you'll find one. This was fun. This was a great release to cap off the year for Vinegar Syndrome. So we've made it to the top one. Or the last one released, whichever one you want to look at. But it just so happens that it's going to be my release of the year anyways. So whether it was the last one that was released in the order of films that I received, I waited for this one for Christmas because I asked for it for Christmas and I was pretty sure I was getting it. So I've only got to watch through the first film and skim around on the second film. And I haven't even put the third film in yet. So yeah, it's a box set. I'm a 90s kid. born in the 80s, raised in the 90s anyways, and that is, of course, I had to get the Turtles. I asked for the Arrow store exclusive, and I got it. Didn't realize that it was literally just a slipcover difference. The box underneath is still the same. The cases are different though. The interior cases are different, so that's nice. They all have very cool individual matching artwork. And if you want that original art, you can get that original art on the flip side. So you can get their original artwork. But I really like this this exclusive Arrow box. The artwork in it's really nice. It's all seamless and together. And I really think that with this release, Arrow Video basically just like took their cap, popped a feather in it. This was my release of the year. I absolutely adore this trilogy. The films look amazing. They sound great. And Arrow Video just knocked it out of the park for us. So this is not only the number one because it was the last released film of the year in my top 15, but it's also just my number one release for 2025. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trilogy. That did it. That was my top 15 physical media releases of 2025. With a small handful of honorable mentions, because as physical media collectors, we can't just stop at the number we're putting in the title of the video, right? We've got to throw in a couple honorable mentions, got to pump those numbers out a little bit. But we were graced with some amazing releases, some big box editions, some beautiful box sets, and most importantly, some very nice discs inside those cases for a lot of films that really deserved the best of the best. How did 2025 rank out for you? Were there films that you had been waiting on for so long that just hadn't seen the light of day yet? Were there editions of your favorite films that were re-released in 2025 that you just had to add to your collection? Or was 2025 a year that you took a break? It most definitely was not a year that I took a break. I got over a movie a week on average for 2025 releases, so it definitely wasn't a slump by any means, right? They definitely provided us with lots of opportunities to own our favorite films. So I know I grabbed me up some amazing ones. I'd like to know what you guys grabbed down below. If you've stuck around for this whole video, like always, guys, thank you. I really appreciate it. This one's probably a little long in the tooth a bit, but when we're talking our favorite things, we get to talking a little bit, right? But like always, I'd like to take a moment to thank my members. My channel members, they go above and beyond and show me that extra support that just really keeps me motivated and going to make more content. So thank you guys so very much. It really does mean the world to me. But like always, everyone, memberships, they're nice. But I'd much rather just conversate and make the friendships and the connections that we make down in the comments below and on each other's channels, and maybe even over on Instagram. Obviously, this was a list about physical media, so you know what I'm going to say when I end this. Remember, when we're trying to collect our art and we're trying to express the things that we love, we should always do our best They keep it physical.